This is It Was a Thing on TV.
Total Red Man has ever done something like this to me! It's, time!
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the dregs of humanity!
Episode 267, submission number 467, Jason of Star Command. Jason of Star Command aired on CBS on Saturday mornings from September 9th of 1978 through December 1st of 1979 for a total of 28 episodes.
Danger hides in the stars. This is the world of Jason of Star Command. A space-age soldier of fortune determined to stop the most sinister force in the universe. Dragos, master of the cosmos. Aiding Jason in his battle against evil is a talented team of experts, all working together in a secret section of Space Academy. Jason of Star Command, Chapter 1, Attack of the Dragonship.
Well, guys, in the 1970s, well, the late 1970s specifically, as we've talked about in previous episodes, science fiction was so hot at this point. You had Star Wars in 77 capture the imagination of the country. And of course, we've talked about that period in previous centuries, the Star Wars Holiday Special and the 1978 Science Fiction Film Awards.
Obviously, everybody wanted a piece of that Lucasfilm dollar. So, what do? Find an adventure, put it in space, add a few robots. But if you're CBS in 1978, you don't give the hero a gun because Saturday mornings tend to frown on that sort of thing.
Duh.
Yeah. But I watched an episode or two of Jason of Star Command. You cannot tell me that Jason of Star Command did not bear a striking resemblance to Han Solo.
Yeah, he was definitely a Han Solo type.
Yep. But the genesis of Jason of Star Command actually happened, I want to say, a year before with a show called Space Academy, which used several props and sets and B-roll that would be reused in Jason of Star Command. Like that giant security complex that's aboard a meteor. And that's just floating through space like it's something. They reused that from Space Academy. They also reused many of the same sets, and in Season 2, a talking robot.
A robot?
A talking robot.
Huh.
Granted, it was like 2 foot nothing, but it was a robot. And it talked. And it flashed while it was talking. So yeah.
And I should also add that Space Academy was done by the same production company, so it's not a surprise they're reusing set pieces.
Especially not a surprise when you consider that production company was Filmation.
The King of Sheep. Maybe next to Sandy Frank. We're not playing the song.
Oh.
Okay.
Play the song!
Come on, everybody, let's do the Sandy Frank song. Sandy Frank, Sandy Frank, he's the source of all our pain. Sandy Frank, Sandy Frank, get up at the house all day. Sandy Frank, Sandy Frank, thinks that people come from trees. Sandy Frank, Sandy Frank, gets hard movies from Japan. Sandy Frank, Sandy Frank, films are poorly done. Sandy Frank, Spielberg will return his call.
We only played that because Lou Scheimer and Norm Prescott do not get a song. Because nobody's thought of it yet.
We could do one. We could do one on Space Academy, Jason of Star Command, the Ghostbusters cartoon in 1986. Boy, the list could go on and on.
Yeah, it can. And
Yeah,
also Fat Albert and the
Mr. Black.
kids. What?
Mr. Black.
kids.
No, the other.
Mr. Black.
And the
Mr. Black.
kids?
The black.
Mr. Black.
Oh, that one. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry, I need a little bit of clarity there.
I gotta be honest, I much preferred Fat Abbott from South Park.
I really would like to see Fat
It's like,
Albert.
how could you? I was like, how could you not know about Fat Albert? It made Kenan Thompson's career.
But we talked about him last week. I would like to see
Time out!
Wait, no, hold on, stop. I got to get this out of my system. I really would like to see a Fat Albert and the
Mr. Black.
kids. I'm sorry, hilarity ensues. It lasts 2 episodes and gets canceled.
Oh,
No,
God.
no.
But I was gonna say, no. Everyone knows it was D2, the Mighty Ducks, that made Kenan Thompson's career.
No, it was Heavyweights that made Kenan Thompson's career. Special shout out to Aubrey Dollar. I went to governor's school with her.
Oh yeah, Paul Feig was in Heavyweights. That
Yes,
made
he
his
was.
career. That made his career.
There you go.
I thought the appearance when he was a champion on $25,000 Pyramid made his career.
No, that made his rent for the week.
But yeah, Filmation, very on the cheap, if you will.
Very on the cheap.
Yes.
But you could tell where they were going when they were trying to sort of harken back to the old-timey space serials. Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers, John Carter of Mars, that sort of thing.
They were getting aboard the science fiction space bandwagon. What can you say?
Yep.
This was the era of Battlestar Galactica. And like you said, Star Wars and the Star Trek movie, the first one would be coming out, what, about 81, Greg?
No, 79.
No, the first one came out.
Oh, 79. So that falls within this window, this range.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
'cause-
actually going to be talking about Star Trek the Motion Picture later on in this episode.
Okay.
Because that will come into play on some of the decisions made between Season 1 and Season 2.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But let's go on to the cast of Jason of Star Command. Star Command consisted of Jason, who is basically a hero for hire who lives on Star Command and reports to his commander, and with his friends, Professor E.J. Parsafoot, and his many captains, he patrols the depths of space, fighting crime, doing away with evil, and other stuff. But evil in this sort of realm of space takes the form of a one-eyed, bearded baddie named Dragos, who commands his army of yes-men from his Dragonship. I swear to God, I am not making these names up. I think these names are bad now. I think it's so much worse. Playing the role of Jason is Craig Littler, who has been in many roles in his day, but is perhaps known more for a very famous commercial with a very famous line. He was one of the first, if not the first, to ask a guy in a Rolls Royce if he had any Grey Poupon.
Oh!
That's great.
Yep.
The finer things in life. Happily, some are affordable, like Grey Poupon Dijon mustard. Grey Poupon is so fine, it's even made with white wine. Its original French Dijon recipe adds distinctive flavor to beef, pork, and poultry, salad dressing and sauces, and of course, sandwiches. So enjoy one of life's finer pleasures.
Pardon me, would you have any Grey Poupon? But of course.
Grey Poupon. It even has wine.
It even has wine.
Playing his major domo, Professor E.J. Parsafoot, is Charlie Dell. Mike, you would probably know more about Charlie Dell than I would at the moment, because a little bit of behind the veil here, my power is out.
Okay. Well, actually, Charlie Dell was on Married with Children 2 different times, separated by 8 years. Charlie Dell was on Married with Children's second season premiere, a 2-part episode called Poppies by the Tree, where he played a Florida resident. I think I just need to say that. Florida resident. That's all you need to know. Florida resident, even in 1987. But also, 5 years later, he played an insurance adjuster, I think. He wasn't an insurance salesman. He was the guy that came out to validate a claim Al Bundy made that he was scarred from an incident at the shoe store and stopped wearing shoes. He played Leslie Baum on that episode, called Shoeless Al, of all things. So yeah, he had to basically make the payout or determine if Al was traumatized forever because of this incident at the shoe store.
One little problem though, Mr. Bundy. Don't you usually bowl in shoes?
He's right, Al. It's time to ooze-lay the amskay. Huh?
He said, lose the scam.
It's not a scam.
Other than that, he's pretty much, I don't want to say that guy from that show, but he has credits out the wazoo going all the way back to the early 70s. And he even has credits that are current. Most recently, something called Archibald's Next Big Thing. And he also actually was on one episode, and we talked about this show last week, Grace and Frankie.
Ah.
Yeah. So he's making the rounds. He's all over the place. But yeah, he made a 50-year career out of sort of being a character actor, that guy from that show. I should also add, Evening Shade, he played Nub Oliver for 56 episodes. So that's really his big series besides Jason the Star Command. Not that necessarily 2 seasons or a season and a half is that long. But yeah, he's been a character actor for much of his career.
Right? And then Captain Nicole Davidoff is played by Susan Pratt, who I believe she was actually, I want to say she was a stewardess in a movie, but I don't remember what the movie was.
Private Parts.
Oh, thank you. It was
Howard Stern's movie, yeah. But also, she's been on some of your stories. She's been on All My Children, Guiding Light, Loving, General Hospital. She's made the rounds on your stories, if you will.
But fun fact, was married to George O'Hanlon Jr., that is the son of George O'Hanlon, who you would probably know better as the voice of George Jetson. Not Junior, but Senior.
Oh.
Wow.
Yep. And during her time on Jason of Star Command, she was credited as Susan O'Hanlon.
Okay.
And as the commander, Commander Carnarvon of Star Command, we have James Doohan. And if you don't know who James Doohan is,
just stop.
Seriously.
Yeah, seriously. I even know who he is. And I thought he was in Star Wars.
Oh, God.
No,
come on.
He was Scotty.
Everyone knows Scotty. He's like a freaking icon, Scotty. We all love Scotty.
But he was only in 16 episodes, all 16 episodes of Season 1. By the way, Season 1 was part of a block of shows called Tarzan and the Super 7, all of which were produced by Filmation, Norm Prescott and Lou Scheimer, executive producer. And Jason of Star Command was the only live-action show. But apparently it did so well that it spun off a second season as a standalone show, while Tarzan and the Super 7 would go on to include other Filmation properties like Shazam, the animated show, not the live-action show. So, James Doohan could not join Season 2 of Jason of Star Command because he was filming Star Trek The Motion Picture.
Which
makes
would have
sense.
been, yeah, makes sense. Yeah, because that would have been filming around early mid 79. In fact, if you go into the archives, me and Chico, we just did a live show for Star Trek The Motion Picture because the director's edition came out last month on Paramount Plus. So
that is correct. So we have James Doohan as the first commander, so we need a second commander, and we end up with John Russell, who plays the commander as Commander Stone is his name. I want to say his name is Commander Stone. And he looks like a Commander Stone because he is blue. He is absolutely blue all over. Well, it's more like a bluish gray, but yeah. And joining Star Command in Season 2 also is Samantha, who is played by Tamara Dobson, who has been in, I want to say, a week's worth of episodes of previous entry Beat the Clock.
Winning money today for the red section of our audience. From Young Love, First Love, Leslie Ackerman. And from Soap, Robert Mandan. And winning money for the green section from Jason of Star Command, Tamara Dobson. And from the White Shadow, Ken Michaelman. As we play the all-new All-Star Beat the Clock.
But if you are a child of the 70s, you probably remember Tamara Dobson for another role.
Oh?
Tamara Dobson played Cleopatra Jones.
In what? In Cleopatra,
In Cleopatra
Jones. That's
Jones.
the name of the movie.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
You don't know your blaxploitation films, Greg.
No, I don't.
Oh, Greg. So yeah, Tamara Dobson, after finding gainful employments in the blaxploitation circuit, is now doing game shows and cheesy science fiction. That rates.
Well, you know, the show needed promotion, and really, the episodes that she was on of Beat the Clock were around Thanksgiving of 1979, like literally a week or two before the final episode originally aired. We'll get into the reruns later, but they tried? Question mark?
An attempt was made.
A valiant attempt was made. Yeah.
Yeah. We have our staff of Star Command. Oh yeah, by the way, also in Season 2, we have a little robot. We have two little robots in this series. During Season 1, Jason had a pocket robot that could pretty much do anything. And its call sign was W1K1. He called it Wiki.
Yes, he did.
Because that's what it looked like. Actually, it looked like one of those little wind-up dealies, and it sounded, fun fact, it sounded like a bunch of voice actors doing a really high-pitched voice actor, doing a really high-pitched voice, and then somebody in audio speeding it up and making it even higher.
Well, we did say that Lou Scheimer was the king of cheap. And yeah, really, this wind-up toy, I mean, and kids of the 70s and 80s know what I'm talking about. It had the little dial, and you wind it, and these little feet would sort of go back and up and down, back and forth. And you heard the whatever, I don't want to say gear, but spring-like.
That sort of grinding gear sound?
Yeah, I'm not good with words tonight. But yeah, if you saw it, you'd be like, oh my gosh, I had toys like that back in 1980, whatever, or 1970, whatever. Back when we actually had toys, we weren't, stuck to computers and telephones and back in the good old days.
Want to tell us what happens to all those toys back in the good old days?
We had fun with them and they broke. And darn it, we enjoyed them.
It's okay, Pop.
But seriously, like I said, if you saw it, you'd be like, oh yeah, I had a toy like that where you wound it up and it moved probably like 15, 20 seconds and you have to wind it up again. And if you wound it, the spring or whatever coil would snap and your toy would be broken. Yeah, like I said, good old days. I remember them very well from my childhood.
Well, the good old days weren't always that good, were they?
I'm going to just sit here and reminisce while you talk about the other robot.
Oh yeah, the other robot was recycled from Space Academy because apparently Space Academy was supposed to be the first show, and Jason of Star Command was actually the sequel to Space Academy because Star Command is actually an offshoot of the Space Academy. Or is it Space Academy an offshoot of Star Command?
Well, Star Command came later, so you'd figure that Space Academy was the first show, and chronologically it's fair to think that it was also the first show, and Jason of Star Command was the sequel. Makes logical sense, I think.
Ah, right. Oh, you know who we forgot to talk about in the cast?
Do we forget to talk about Drago or whatever his name is?
Dragos. Yes, we forgot to talk about the bearded, one-eyed bastard Dragos, played by Sid Haig. He was a really, really bad man.
Yeah, one of the
he looks like a bad man.
Oh yeah, one of the all-time legends of horror.
Yep. We want to talk about the Rob Zombie films, House of 1,000 Corpses, The Devil's Rejects, 3 from Hell. He's also a veteran of the Roger Corman franchises.
So yeah, he did it all.
Mm-hmm. Sadly, no longer with us. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go over all of the episodes here because like we said, there are 28 episodes. An interesting thing, because the first 16, the first season, was part of Tarzan and the Super 7, they're all 50-minute chapters. Because this is supposed to evoke the whole old-timey space serial.
Yeah, and every episode basically ended on a cliffhanger. Like you said, the old radio serials, where, next week is our hero going to get out of danger and what's going to happen to the princess, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, everyone had a cliffhanger, so you sort of had a continuous storyline, not unlike a soap opera, sort of?
Nope.
No. So let's get into the episodes. We're going to start with episode 1 from season 1, Attack of the Dragonship. The Space Academy is struck by a mysterious force unleashed by an alien ship, and Commander Carnarvon is abducted by a mysterious beam. Jason and Dr. Parsafoot investigate in their spaceship and find and rescue Carnarvon, who is floating in outer space. Jason discovers the attacking vessel belongs to the evil Dragos and is captured and placed in prison.
Uh-oh.
I agree. I was going to do the exact same thing, but I'd let you two handle it. So within the first 90 seconds to 2 minutes of the episode, this came across as really cheap. Dr. Parsafoot came into the cockpit, and for some reason he was swarmed by bats or flies or some sort of space creature, space bats, space flies.
Yeah. Apparently these space flies have giant protruding antennae coming out of the tops of their heads that look nothing like fish wire.
Yeah, that's the thing, is you could tell they're being held by nylon fishing line very clearly. I mean, they didn't even try to hide it. I'm just at that point, this is worse than Filmation cheap. I mean, I know Filmation is cheap, but it's You could see the nylon line. That was ridiculous. Anywho, the other thing I find kind of interesting is Dr. Carnarvon's floating in outer space. Wouldn't he be dead because there's no oxygen in outer space?
Yeah, this is basically John Lithgow and Santa Claus all over again. Before John Lithgow and Santa
It's
Claus.
following Superman 4 logic of space.
Why do you have to mention that movie? Bad.
Because we love it. But you know how much what I don't love Santa Claus the movie as much as?
Wait for it.
So as I was saying, episode 2.
I was going to say, I don't love it as much as I love the show Wings.
Yeah, we know. That's why we went to episode 2.
Guys, you want to know a secret?
Oh, please tell me that Tony Shalhoub was on an episode of this show.
No.
Oh.
But I will say, this is going to be a big revelation, okay? Okay, you ready for this?
I'm adequately seated, yes.
I love Wings.
The hell you say?
I am shocked. Oh my god, I am shocked. This is my shock face. Words cannot convey how much shock I am in right now.
I'm just curious, did Wings make Tony Shalhoub's career just like Charlie Dell's career was made on Jason of Star Command?
Yes.
Amazing.
Holy. The things I learn about you on this show, Greg. For serious. The things
you learn about Tony Shalhoub on this show.
Yeah.
All right, now focus. We're getting to episode 2.
Yeah, this is where things start to pop off, apparently.
Episode 2 is titled Prisoner of Dragos. Dragos introduces himself to Jason as Master of the Cosmos. He creates an energy clone of the captive Jason and reveals that a similar clone of Commander Carnarvon is already doing his bidding at Star Command.
Oh no.
He's got cloning technology.
He has cloning technology? This can't possibly end well.
Well, let's find out as we go to episode 3. Before we get to episode 3, it should be noted that Lou Scheimer is a narrator on this series, not unlike what he did with the Ghostbusters. Again, he didn't like spending money, hiring outside people, so he's going to narrate it himself.
Hey, he's got the voice for it.
He does. And he saved the money, too, so he's got the money. Ha, ha, ha. Okay, episode 3, Escape from Dragos. Okay, here we go. Looks like they're going to escape. The energy clone of Commander Carnarvon attempts to sabotage the Space Academy's defense and is thwarted by Nicole and Dr. Persifoot. Jason and the real Carnarvon manage to break out of their jail cells, but only Carnarvon manages to escape from the vessel.
Now, is this Carnarvon or fake Carnarvon?
It says Jason and the real Carnarvon managed to break out of their jail cells, but only Carnarvon, presumably the real Carnarvon, manages to escape the vessel. What would the clone want to escape the vessel from?
Okay, so Jason is still stuck on the Dragonship.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, now it's starting to make sense. Good.
All right.
Episode 4 is called A Cry for Help. When Carnarvon's clone manages to escape and disable the Academy's shields, Dragos orders an all-out attack, which causes the ship to hurtle out of control towards a star. Jason transforms a furry, speechless creature into its true shape. A lovely princess and the two manage to escape from Dragos' cells to a tiny planetoid that begins to disintegrate from the force of the Dragos attack on the Academy.
That can't be good.
No.
A furry, speechless creature into a lovely princess. Okay, whatever.
Yep.
And it looks like the princess may have been played by Roseanne Caton.
Oh, she was in 2 episodes of Full House as Mrs. Manning. Among other things.
among other things, including, we talked about her in the past, believe it or not. She played Lori Marshall on Grady, the Sanford verse. Yes.
Yep.
And now we're going to go to episode 5, which is called Wiki to the Rescue. Boy, that sounds like what happens on every recording session of this podcast. Wiki to the rescue.
Yep.
No lies. With the
no lies detected.
No lies detected. With the guidance of Wiki, Jason's personal robot, Nicole locates Jason and Princess Allegra before their planetoid disintegrates. In order to stop Dragos from jamming the Academy's controls, Jason launches the Starfire by autopilot into the enemy spaceship and manages to escape with Nicole and Princess Allegra to a nearby asteroid.
Mm.
And yes, Princess Allegra is played by Roseanne Caton.
Because if you're going to have a serial, you better have the actress who plays the same role.
Right.
Otherwise, the continuity is all screwed up. But then again, this is a place where you have energy clones going in and out willy-nilly, so...
And going to the next episode, which is episode 6, Planet of the Lost. While trapped on an asteroid, Nicole and Jason drive off an alien creature that attacked Princess Allegra. Dr. Parsafoot and Wiki manage to sneak a Starfire spaceship out of the Space Academy and rescue the 3 heroes, but Dragos and his minions manage to track their craft. Jason orders Allegra to use the Mini-Cat module to report their position to Commander Carnarvon just after she escapes Dragos forces Jason's ship onto the surface of the Planet of the Lost.
Oh, boy.
So now, why am I getting the vibe that we're going to see like a lot of science fiction tropes? I'm thinking specifically different adventures from Star Trek going to very deserted lands.
Yeah, deserted planetoids that look absolutely nothing like a soundstage with a bunch of rocks and a different colored background.
Yeah.
With chroma keyed stop motion creatures running about.
Oh, come on. Filmation using...
Next thing you're going to tell me that Greg loves wings.
Oh, come on. You're saying they use chroma keyed aliens and stuff like that? How cheap do you think Lou Scheimer is? I withdraw the question.
I was about to say, dude, come on, boy. You saw Ghostbusters.
Yeah. I saw many things from Lou Scheimer, absolutely. All right. Moving on to episode 7, Marooned in Time. Jason, Nicole, and Dr. Parsafoot are captured by Captain Kidd, who explains that they have landed on a planet trapped in time by Dragos. Jason tricks the captain into taking his pocket robot, Wiki, then manages to pick the lock, securing the stocks, imprisoning his friends with a splinter. Jason needs the gold and silver in the captain's chest to repair the engines on the spacecraft and follows Wiki's homing beacon to the cave where the treasure is hidden.
So obviously, Wiki is going to take the spotlight on this episode.
Well, that, and also they need this gold and silver that's hidden in a cave, and how's that going to fix the spaceship? I don't know. Maybe the spaceship runs on gold and silver. I don't know.
I don't know.
We're not paid to think that hard. Okay. So that's going to take us to episode 8. And episode 8 is titled Attack of the Dragons. Professor Parsafoot manages to repair the Starfire, and he and his friends take off from the limbo of the lost planet. Having rescued Captain Kidd from Dragos' booby trap, the pirate agrees to join the fight against the alien tyrant. When the Starfire's navigation system is disabled, the captain uses his sextant to calculate their location and course, and the ship arrives at Space Academy just in time to thwart Dragos' latest attack by his ship's guidance system, sending his vessel adrift into deep space.
Yeah, take that, Dragos. You one-eyed bastard!
I'm wondering how a sextant would work in outer space, but that's just me.
Probably the same way that breathing works in outer space, but go on.
Oh, yeah, because you can just float in outer space and survive. Perfectly normal.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 9 is titled Peepo's Last Chance. Space Command is in danger when Peepo, Dr. Parsifoot's marvelous new robot, is captured by Dragos' minions and his memory bank scanned.
The joke is that Peepo is neither new nor belonging to Dr. Parsifoot, because this is a recycled prop from Space Academy. Because Filmation.
And speaking of Filmation, the voice of Peepo, we've talked about her in the past. I believe it was on the Ghostbusters. Erica Scheimer, Lou Scheimer's daughter.
Yep.
Episode 10 is The Disappearing Man. Lieutenant Matt Prentice has escaped from being experimented on by Dragos, but is stuck in time, moving at a much faster pace than everyone around him. Jason volunteers to enter the other time dimension to rescue him.
Playing the role of Lieutenant Matt Prentice, yes, he is reprising his role from Space Academy, John Berwick, but his connection to Peepo and Star Command are never mentioned.
Okay.
But he's also known as Rex Ruthless in the Hero High shorts on the competing The Kids Superpower Hour with Shazam. Also a Filmation joint, by the way. And was also on an episode of Future Entry, Time Express.
All right.
It's the love boat on a time train.
It's no super train.
Nothing can beat the super train. Why even try? All right, that takes us to episode 11, which is called The Haunted Planet. While searching for their missing robot Peepo, Jason's spacecraft is hit by a radiation beam and makes a forced landing on the frigid planet of Kesh, where their ship explodes soon after touchdown. Jason, Nicole, and Professor meets Kesh's Queen Vanessa, who imprisons them after rendering them unconscious with sleeping gas.
Oh God, we have a name on this episode, don't we?
Oh, I'm not done yet. Hold your horses.
Okay.
They learn that the beautiful but evil queen is in league with Dragos and plans to turn over the three heroes to him.
How beautiful and how evil.
This is a name. This is a big name.
Okay.
Catwoman from the Batman TV series. The one and only Julie Newmar.
I don't know. I mean, Julie Newmar is really, really something, and I love Julie Newmar. She's not worth a kit, but I love Julie Newmar.
Or Lee Merriweather.
Arrgh.
But I'll guarantee you this, I bet Wong Fu loved it.
I bet you Wong Fu loved it indeed.
With love.
Oh, yeah. Also, thanks for everything, Julie Newmar.
That was kind of deep.
Now, guys, you might think that my John Leguizamo wings would be Super Mario Brothers the movie. No. It's Wong Fu.
I can buy that. I will take that. That's a valid answer.
That rates.
It sure as hell isn't The Pest.
Yeah.
Which I mentioned in a previous episode.
Also, two other names I'm going to mention. Playing the snow monster in this episode is an actor named Ram Anand. This is his only credit in IMDb.
Ram Anand.
Ram Anand. And he even went uncredited on the episode. So the one IMDb credit, he didn't even get credit for on the original episode.
Well, neither did Erica Scheimer, just saying.
Right, true. Also in this episode, playing Bork, is Angelo Recito. And the only reason I mention Angelo Recito is because of his height. He makes Billy Barty look like a giant. 2 feet, 11 inches tall.
He makes Billy Barty look like Manute Bol.
I would have accepted George Mirasan, but that's fine. And we all know that George Mirasan's career was made on My Giant.
True.
Hey, guys, do you know how many people consider My Giant to be their personal wings?
Nobody!
And actually, talking about Angelo Recito, we did talk about him in the past. He played Mr. Big and the lead singer of the Hat Band on Lidsville.
Oh, God.
So basically, going all the way back to 1927, believe it or not, he was that diminutive person on that movie and or TV show.
That's the guy you got when you couldn't afford to get Billy Barty, basically.
And believe it or not, he actually was on STTNG.
What?
His last credit while he was living was as a spectator, an uncredited role on the episode from 1987, Encounter at Farpoint.
That was the first episode, dude.
That's the premiere.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
And by the way, have we mentioned many times on this podcast that Chico went to school with John Delancey's son?
Okay, we're going to move on to episode 12 now, called Escape from Kesh. Boy, I wonder if they escape from Kesh in this episode. Professor Parsifut shrinks Jason's size sufficiently to escape between the bars of the electrified cage that hold them prisoner, and once outside of the cell, he turns off the current. With Nicole in tow, Jason and the professor steal Queen Vanessa's spaceship, not realizing that the Queen and her henchmen are also aboard with a sleep grenade that knocks them out.
Uh-oh.
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 She then sets course to take her captives to Dragos.
Man,
I think that's
you
where the
can...
uh-oh goes.
Yeah, there's your uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no matter what you do, you can never truly escape Dragos, can you?
No. And the next episode, episode 13, is called Return of the Creature. Jason escapes from Dragos' jailers and rescues Nicole and the professor from the dangerous alien creature using the freezing rod he took from one of the guards. Dragos commences another attack on the Space Academy by disrupting their guidance systems, sending them hurtling towards a space typhoon. Jason and his friends rescue Peepo the robot, steal a spaceship, and race towards the Academy, not realizing Dragos has reprogrammed the robot to respond to his commands.
Stranger danger.
Yeah, if the robot has been reprogrammed, not good.
NG, no good.
Yeah, so now they gotta probably find a way to unreprogram him or re-reprogram him. Something like that.
Oh, I'm looking on my phone at episode 14. They do so much more than that.
Well, let's talk about it. Episode 14 is Peepo on Trial. Nicole's efforts to accelerate the Space Academy's engines are sabotaged by Peepo the robot, who is now under Dragos' control. Jason sends Wiki to distract Peepo and manages, with Carnarvon's help, to regain control of the spacecraft. Their efforts may be too late to prevent the forward momentum from carrying the Academy directly into the heart of the galactic typhoon.
This looks bad. This looks very bad.
I don't see anybody on trial. It seems like, yeah, they're going towards a space typhoon, which sounds like maybe a black hole, which definitely is not good. I don't know. Well, let's see what happens on episode 15. This is the second to last episode from season 1, and it's called The Trojan Horse. Thanks to Jason and Carnarvon's timely repairs, the Space Academy barely manages to avoid the galactic typhoon. Jason discovers the reprogrammed Peepo that Dragos controls all of his minions through a medallion he wears at all times. Jason and Nicole sneak aboard Dragos' massive space vessel, locate him in his command room, and steal his medallion, only to discover the Dragos they've confronted is only an energy clone and that they've fallen into a trap.
It's a trap!
Well, yeah, they've fallen into a trap. Let's see how they get out of the trap. In episode 16, the final episode of season 1, The Victory of Star Command. The Victory of Star Command. Hey, maybe this means There's no reason for season 2 or they're going to go on a new adventure. Let's find out. With Jason a captive aboard his spaceship, Dragos commences his final assault upon the Space Academy. Jason once again manages to escape, and having dispatched all the guards, confronts his enemy man to man.
I bet you it makes for a really good Saturday morning friendly fist fight.
Well, also, it gives season 1 some closure in case they weren't renewed for season 2.
Yep. But remember, Jason doesn't have a gun.
And we've seen all too often on different series, there is no closure. They leave you hanging, and you're kept hanging forever. That's why we like I Married Dora from last week. They just broke the fourth wall and said, hey, guess what? No cliffhanger. We're canceled. Bye, everybody.
We're done. Bye.
Well, Jason's basically looking for Dragos. Dragos calls his guards. Jason deflects Dragos' eye beam. By the way, that is a practical effect that is not edited in. And Jason just looks at his foe and says, it's just the two of us, and I'm betting on me. And after the fight, he goes like, I'm leaving, but I shall return. I promise you. I will be alive in every dark corner of the universe. And everything evil that happens, I shall be there. Ha 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 ha. Disappearing, leaving his cape and helmet. See what happens when you don't give the good guy a laser blaster? Just saying.
Bluesheimer couldn't afford it. So now, before season 2, as we mentioned, we did lose James Doohan because he did the Star Trek movie. And we have a new addition who we'll talk about shortly. We talked about her earlier, Tamara Dobson, but we'll give a proper introduction to who she is in a moment. As we start season 2 with Mission to the Stars.
As a reminder, in season 2, we are up to half-hour episodes, most of them fully contained.
Yeah. In this first episode, Jason is in trouble with the new commander, but discovers Samantha, who is Tamara Dobson, a mysterious woman preserved in suspended animation aboard a space wreck. So they find James Doohan's replacement, basically, in that first episode. Episode 2, Frozen in Space. A deadly freeze ray threatens Star Command. Jason and Samantha land on a remote planetoid and discover Dragos is behind the evil threat.
This guy.
Now he's got his freeze ray. What is going on?
I guess he really did not like Jason making an example of him back in season 1.
Yeah, he lost that little fight, yeah.
John Berwick actually returns in this episode as a different character, Tahor.
And that takes us to episode 3 in season 2, Web of the Star Witch. Captured by Queen Medusa, an ally of Dragos, Jason is offered vast wealth and power to join her evil crusade. Is he going to go to the dark... Can we say dark side? Is he going to go to the dark side? I don't know if we can say that necessarily.
I don't think we can legally say that.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Okay, well, they're not going to listen to this, but the thing is, okay, he might switch alliances, if you will. He might become a baddie now.
He might turn.
He might turn heel.
He might turn... That's a good way of saying it. He might turn heel. Very nice. And in this episode, playing Medusa, the Queen Medusa that we mentioned earlier, is Francine York. And
Francine York?
I didn't know which Francine York you're talking about. Probably.
Which Francine York is it?
I didn't know there's more than one. But she has a lengthy career. She's no longer with us, but her career goes back to 1959. And as I said, she unfortunately is not with us. She passed away in 2017.
Yep, that Francine York.
Yeah, she's been on many things. Almost that actress on that show or movie. So very diverse career. All right, moving on to episode 4, Beyond the Stars. Yeah, actually, I gave it a little emphasis because there's an exclamation point at the end. Beyond the Stars! Drago sends an undercover agent into Star Command to kidnap Professor Parsafoot.
I have to mention an appearance here of Cleet Keith, who is known for playing roles in 3 Days Blind, Instant Trauma, and Superman for The Quest for Peace, and as a stand-in in Cabin Boy. And also one episode of St. Elsewhere and Lou Grant. I only mention this because I told you the names are getting incredibly hokey. He plays a guy by the name of Matt Darlingstar. I am not making that name up.
I think it's maybe Matt Daringstar.
Matt Daringstar, excuse me.
That makes more sense if you think about it. Yeah, Daring Star. Plus also, he's presumably the kidnapper, so maybe he's a little more daring. I'm just throwing stuff out there, but it makes sense in my mind saying Daring Star. I just gave my rationale.
Yeah,
QED.
that makes more sense.
Okay. Episode 5 is Secret of the Ancients. In order to save Jason, Professor Parsafoot must help Dragos read the secrets of the Tantalusian power disc. That almost sounds like a device you'd put on your Nintendo Entertainment System. The Tantalusian power disc.
Yeah, I actually have a copy of the Tantalusian power disc. It's a DiscoVision copy of Kiss Save Santa.
From Family Guy?
Yeah, did you just make a Family Guy reference?
I did.
Oh my god. I'm speechless. Okay. Episode 6, The Power of the Star Disc. Speaking of the Tantalusian Star Disc. Banished into limbo by Dragos, Jason and the Commander meet a Tantalusian ghost.
A ghost!
Yoinks! G-Scoop! No, wrong type of ghost. Space ghost. Not one that's coast to coast.
I'm Spencer. He's Tracy. I'm Cog.
Oh my gosh. All right, moving on. We're getting near the end here. There's only 6 more episodes. Episode 7, Through the Stargate. A spacefarer seeks help repairing his spaceship from Star Command, but his cargo sends Jason, Samantha, and Parsafoot into another dimension. How many dimensions are there in space? This is at least like the 3rd dimension they've gone to in just this season and a half, essentially, at this point.
Yep. But we have a name in this episode. Playing the role of Adron is Rod Loomis, and you would know him as Sigmund Freud in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Oh, that guy.
Yep. And he was also on Star Trek The Next Generation as Paul Mannheim.
Forging ahead to episode 8, Face to Face. Jason and his crew are trapped in another dimension with a mortal enemy. Only by supporting... Well, I'm going to assume it's the other dimension that they got into in the last episode. Okay. I don't think they somehow went from another dimension to a 3rd or 4th dimension. And good heavens, if we're into the 5th dimension, I think we may have copyright violations.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Greg will put something in there. No, he can't do that. You can't put a 5th dimension song. But anywho,
got the wedding bell.
We get it. You want to marry Bill. Okay.
So now, regarding this other dimension, they're trapped with a mortal enemy. Only by supporting each other can they survive. And also, Rod Loomis as Adron appears in this episode again. I'm guessing Adron is this mortal enemy in this mysterious dimension. And also, this is the 2nd and last episode that he's on. So I'm guessing that once they get out of this mysterious dimension, Adron disappears and we never hear from him again? We'll find out in episode 9, Phantom Force. After Samantha rescues a young boy from a lost spacecraft, Star Command is plagued by a series of strange incidents.
Yeah, playing the role of the young boy is David Comfort, who isn't known for doing much of actual import. In fact, his last credit was in 2003 as Dick Grayson in a short called Power Meeting, where Clark Kent, Bruce Wayne, Dick Grayson, and Peter Parker have suddenly become obsolete. Like I said before, I wish I was kidding. I'm not.
I can verify it. He's not joking. Not that he'd ever lie to us. Moving on to episode 10, Little Girl Lost. Jason and Samantha discover a young girl called Heidi and her doll in the wreckage of a crashed spaceship. Isn't that how Jason discovered Samantha? She was frozen in space wreckage.
Yeah, that's how Jason discovered Samantha.
Okay, I'm buying it. And playing Heidi, the young girl in this episode, is Heather O'Connell, and she has a total of 2 credits to her name. She plays Heidi in Jason of Star Command, and she plays a role, little girl, in Galaxina, whatever that is. And I care so much about Galaxina, I'm not even looking to see what it is. I'm moving forward to episode 11, which is called Mimi's Secret. Dragos and Star Command vie for the secrets hidden in Heidi's doll. Oh, Mimi is the doll. Okay.
Yeah, Mimi is the doll, and the doll has a secret. We have no idea what the secret is, but we probably will once we see episode 12.
The last episode of the series. Remember that. Battle for Freedom. Dragos kidnaps the commander, so Jason tries to free him from his asteroid prison. Can Jason's courage overcome the evil of Dragos at last? Question mark?
Presumably, it does. Presumably.
Presumably, we have closure. I don't think they'd leave us hanging, especially if they knew the end was near.
Yeah, or at least the end of this season. Because remember, they ended the first season with a bit of closure. Surely they're not going to end the second season on a cliffhanger. That would just be a bit of a jerk move. Especially when you have the capacity to rerun shows like this ad nauseum, as you do on Saturday morning.
Which we'll get into in a little bit. In this episode, playing Jonine is Udana Power. She's been on a little bit of everything. It looks like really the last major thing she did was in 1993. She was on an episode of Murder, She Wrote.
Ah.
But again, she's got a very diverse career going back to the early 60s, primarily in the 70s and up until, again, like I said, 1993-ish. So that's the show. Presumably we get some sort of closure. I don't think Dragos wins again, because otherwise, that would be kind of weird. And there's no season 3, so yeah, maybe this is ultimate closure. Who knows?
It has to be closure. I mean, what else are you going to do, right? And I think this show pretty much, because it is a Filmation production, pretty much came to its organic conclusion. We told a story, we ended the story, season's over, series is over, we're done with it. I imagine CBS wants to go in another direction because it just seems like a good way to just end it.
Yeah. Well, CBS didn't necessarily take it into a different direction. They obviously replaced it with a new series, but reruns of this show were on CBS Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings up until 1981. Yeah, so maybe there's something there. Maybe, again, Lou Scheimer and Filmation being Lou Scheimer and Filmation, maybe it got too expensive. I mean, we saw that issue with the Ghostbusters, where even though it was a good show, we're going to put more money into ISIS. So Jason of Star Command was replaced by Shazam in January of 1980. But reruns of Jason of Star Command, as I said, they moved to Sunday mornings at 8:30 in the morning. And that was for 14 months. So that took you into 1981. But then, believe it or not, it returned back to Saturdays, again, all reruns, at 1 in the afternoon. Because remember, back in like the 80s, CBS primarily programmed Saturday morning programming till like 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah, and the whole 12 to 2 block would go up against ABC's Weekend Special and American Bandstand. And also whatever NBC was limping into the barn with.
I don't know if they did counter programming that late on NBC, especially because if you think about it, at least for half the year during the spring and summer, wouldn't baseball have been on NBC at like 1 o'clock? Your MLB game of the week?
Yeah, Saturday game of the week would be on there, yeah.
So they really wouldn't have a reason to counter program up until presumably 12:30 or so, because I'm sure you have your pregame and then the East Coast game starts at 1 o'clock. So yeah, I don't think NBC had much of anything going on at that time. But this entire series, believe it or not, has been released on DVD.
That's right. It was released on DVD by BCI Eclipse in 2007. The print has gone out of print, and BCI Eclipse has since gone out of business. It fetches a very high price on the secondary market, but you can watch all 28 episodes for free on YouTube unofficially.
Yeah, some kind soul has ripped the DVDs and put all 28 episodes online. Thank you so much. Well, guys, before you go, anybody want to do a little eBay Prices Right?
Oh, no.
I want to see what Mike found, so yeah, hit the music.
Okay.
What is that?
So what you're going to bid on, guys, is a series DVD set.
Now, is this the BCI Eclipse print?
Are there other ones? I thought it was BCI.
There isn't any other ones. I just thought I'd ask.
Yeah, rare and out of print. Actually, this is not just Jason of Star Command. This is also the complete series of Space Command and Arc 2. It includes a 16-page booklet with episode info and trivia, and all the discs have been fully tested and they play perfectly. And we're going to do dollars and cents, and I'm going to start with Chico, and this is a sold price. The auction ended April 15th of 2022.
Okay, so I said that this fetches a high price on the secondary market.
Yeah.
With Arc 2 and Space Academy as well.
Space Command.
With Arc 2 and Space Command as well, I imagine it is going to be even higher, so I'm going to say $82.69.
Nice-ish? Okay. Greg?
I'm going to go $89.99.
All right, kids. Break out the charge card because this would have cost you $149.99.
Yikes.
No, I'm good.
Did we mention that all 28 episodes of Jason of Star Command are available for free on the YouTube unofficially?
Well, also, just Jason of Star Command, believe it or not, goes for about $100 on eBay. So you're getting Arc 2 and Space Command at a discount, sort of. But it looks like it's a box set. It looks like it's in a box set, so it's not three separate releases. It's not 3 separate purchases combined into one package.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, that's what happens with these DVDs that go out of print from like BCI Eclipse and some of these other manufacturers where they haven't printed some of these DVDs in 15 years. It becomes collectible and rare, even though more times than not, some generous soul has put them on a certain video site on the internet. Whether it's YouTube or Dailymotion or Vimeo or what have you. So what can we say about Jason of Star Command? It tried riding the coattails of such science fiction properties of the 70s as Star Trek and Star Wars and Battlestar Galactica and Space 1999, Oh Future Entry Space 1999. And they tried doing it for kids. Ultimately, the viewers said, you know what? Maybe it's just best if Jason of Star Command is just a thing on TV.
Mm-hmm. But hey, it did give us Peepo.
And Wiki.
And Wiki. And the 2'11" guy.
Who's not Billy Barty.
Who's not Billy Barty.
The one that makes Billy Barty look really tall, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, you know what else is really tall? All of the tales we have on our website at itwasathingontv.com. We have 260 some odd episodes. We have mini-sodes, live watches. It Was a Thing presents links to our good friends at Place to Be Nation, and I believe we were wrapping up Marvel Month at Place to Be Nation this week.
Yeah, because Wednesday I'm releasing Dad Stop Embarrassing Me and Saturday Night Live 85, which I gotta say, Saturday Night Live 85 was one of our best episodes.
Yes.
But as noted listener Josh Henniger pointed out to us on Twitter, there's 2 other people besides Terry Sweeney who are involved in both SNL and Mad TV. Okay? The first is Jeff Richards, and the other one, Taran Killam.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Taran Killam. And I forgot Taran Killam was on Mad TV, and I forgot Jeff Richards was on SNL. So
everyone's forgotten that Jeff Richards was on SNL.
Yeah, but Keaton Thompson pretty much upstaged him. No.
Oh, and wasn't Taran Killam on the Amanda Show too?
I want to say he was. I'm gonna have to do some quick on-the-fly research. And while I'm doing that, I'll just remind you that we are also on the YouTube, and if you want to follow us, you can do so. Just follow us, subscribe to our feed, and hit that notification bell.
It's a trap!
So you can stay up to date on future entries. And by the way, shout out to the guy who keeps reminding us, E.G. Daily was also in Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
I'm sorry. We have nothing against her in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. It's just when we think of E.G. Daily, we think Rugrats.
Or Powerpuff Girls. We also think Powerpuff Girls.
Well, I don't think of Powerpuff Girls, but okay.
How could you not think of Powerpuff Girls?
I don't think of her as being involved in Powerpuff Girls.
Okay.
While they're arguing about Powerpuff Girls and E.G. Daily, our next episode. Hey, like the 5th or 6th most popular person on soap got her own series?
What?
Huh?
Yeah. And it starred a television legend?
Huh?
Huh?
And it also had a legend in the making, starring in a TV series very early in his career?
Huh?
What?
You heard what I said. What am I talking about? Well, I guess you need to come back here on Thursday and find out on the next episode of It Was a Thing on TV. As always, thanks for listening. Thank you to Greg. Thank you to Chico. We'll catch you here Thursday with another episode.
Until then, Taran Killam was indeed on The Amanda Show.
And all that. Okay.
And all that. Please be kind to each other, and we will see you for the next one.
Wow!
I want the York case.
There's no your case. It was suicide. Copy?
single face.
Cappuccino! Espresso! Hey, Scotty! Can you get this machine to work?
I'm giving it all she's got, Captain. If I push it any harder, the whole thing will blow.